I've got very exciting personal news to share. Miriam and I, we got ourselves a NIO ET7. Yeah, that's right, a Chinese car here in Germany, a Chinese EV, and we are going to cover everything here in the channel, that's for sure. Maybe you've heard it already on Twitter, where this post blew up quite a bit, and if you haven't seen it, then that's clearly a sign that you should go to Twitter and follow us. My handle is _mm85. Miriam can also be found on Twitter. And well, this is really not our first touch point with the NIO ET7 in Germany. You remember, if you follow this channel, by the way, you should actually subscribe to this channel and make sure to hit the notification button, because then you surely have watched our coverage of the NIO Berlin event, where we've luckily been invited. And not only was it the first time that I saw some of these newest NT 2.0 platform cars in Germany, for example, also the NIO ET5, but also I managed to get us a ride in the NIO ET7 the day after, close to the Berlin airport. And funnily, that was still when Li Bin and Qin Li Hong were around. So at the moment when we picked up the car, they were just walking around there. And well, I have to make a shout out here to NIO. They, let me drive the car, really short-term notice organized, but we only had the car for like 1 hour or so. We could make a little bit of footage and some testing, but I've never posted the footage actually here on the channel, right? Well, that's because, first of all, I first let the other YouTubers do their thing, like the professional car testers and so on. You may have watched some of those videos out there, and I'm surely not that guy who's, giving you all of the details about every little aspect and comparing it to other cars. However, what this channel is all about is about covering Chinese tech, how it's going to change the world, opportunities to invest along with it, right? And also, of course, the EV landscape. And so I'm going to make sure that this is also covered on this channel here. Our personal experience with the ET7, what we like about the car, what we don't like about the car. But as I'm always preaching on this channel, NIO, in my point of view, is much more than just a car. It's actually more about the whole company. And I can tell you, we've already included that in our recent testing and in getting the ET7 already, but more on that later. And so this will all be more about some sort of investors' due diligence and comparing it also to our previous impressions of what we had with NIO in China, with the old models, the NT 1.0 platform. And then, of course, how does it compare now to NIO's entry in Europe? Do they have a chance in Europe? How do the models compare? So the ET5 is just around the corner. The EL7 in Germany is also just getting kind of launched. The first customers are receiving theirs. And now we have the ET7. And so in the next couple of weeks, you can not only expect videos here on the channel about the macro picture of China and the world, and investment opportunities, different companies, and of course content around NIO's stock, but of course, in this case, also about the product. And so the next couple of weeks and months will be really exciting because, as you know, also Miriam and I are not only doing this YouTube channel, but also running a kind of boutique consultancy where we're helping German brands, European brands, and other companies to understand China better. So from a tech, from a user perspective, but also the trends that are happening. And so we only have a couple of weeks left to do this road trip content before we actually are heading off to China again, and going back and forth between the countries and taking you, of course, with us. That's our main business, but luckily we also have our patrons that are supporting us. So this is also a very important part of why we can actually do this content and bring it to you guys. So shout out to our patrons again. I'm also making sure that you get some special content there, which will not be public on the channel. So yes, that's the exciting news. Let me know in the comments any questions that you have about the car or stuff that you like to see. And then thank you guys for watching and see you in the next videos.